In the late 12th century, the Holy Land was the epicenter of a monumental clash between two legendary figures, Saladin, the Sultan of Egypt and Syria, and Baldwin IV, the King of Jerusalem. This period, marked by the Crusades, saw a series of conflicts that would ultimately shape the course of history in the Middle East. The struggle between Saladin and Baldwin IV, in particular, is remembered for its intense battles, strategic brilliance, and the extraordinary circumstances of the leaders involved. Baldwin IV, known as the Leper King, battled not only the formidable forces of Saladin, but also a debilitating illness, leprosy, which made his reign one of the most remarkable and tragic in medieval history. The rise of Baldwin IV. Baldwin IV was born in 1161 to Amalric I, King of Jerusalem, and Agnes of Courtenay. At a young age, Baldwin was diagnosed with leprosy, a disease that would gradually rob him of his physical abilities and eventually lead to his death. Despite this, Baldwin was determined to fulfill his role as a leader. He ascended to the throne in 1174 at the age of 13, following his father. From the outset, Baldwin IV's reign was marked by his resolute determination to defend his kingdom against the encroaching forces of Saladin, who was rapidly uniting the Muslim world under his leadership. Baldwin's courage and strategic acumen would soon be put to the test in one of the most critical periods of the Crusader states. The rise of Saladin. Saladin, born in 1137 in Tikrit, modern-day Iraq, was a Kurdish warrior who rose to power in the Islamic world through his military prowess and political acumen. By the time Baldwin IV became king, Saladin had already established himself as the Sultan of Egypt and Syria and had begun to consolidate Muslim forces with the aim of recapturing Jerusalem, which had been under Christian control since the First Crusade. Saladin was a devout Muslim who saw the recapture of Jerusalem as a religious duty. His leadership style combined diplomacy with military might, and he was known for his chivalry and honor, even in dealing with his enemies. As he prepared to challenge the Crusader states, Saladin was fully aware that his most formidable opponent would be the young, ailing king of Jerusalem. The prelude to war. The tension between Saladin and Baldwin IV escalated throughout the 1170s. Both leaders were aware that a decisive confrontation was inevitable. Baldwin, despite his illness, led several campaigns against Saladin's forces, displaying a level of bravery and leadership that earned him the respect of both his allies and enemies. One of the most significant prelude battles occurred at Montgisard in 1177. Saladin, confident in his numerical superiority, launched an invasion of the Kingdom of Jerusalem. Baldwin, suffering from the effects of leprosy and weakened by illness, nevertheless rode into battle at the head of his army. In a surprising and dramatic turn, Baldwin's forces managed to rout Saladin's army, inflicting heavy casualties. This victory at Montgisard temporarily halted Saladin's advance and solidified Baldwin's reputation as a formidable leader despite his physical limitations. One of the most significant prelude battles, the Battle for Jerusalem. By 1183, the situation had become increasingly dire for the Kingdom of Jerusalem. Baldwin IV's health was deteriorating rapidly, and Saladin was amassing a large army with a clear intent of taking Jerusalem. The stage was set for a final decisive confrontation. In 1183, Saladin attempted to draw Baldwin into open battle by launching a raid into Galilee. Baldwin, now almost completely incapacitated by leprosy, was carried on a litter into the field to inspire his troops. However, a direct confrontation was avoided, as both sides recognized the high stakes involved. Baldwin's deteriorating condition forced him to appoint his sister Sibylla and her husband, Guy of Lusignan. The situation continued to deteriorate over the next few years. Baldwin IV, knowing that his time was running out, sought to secure the future of his kingdom by arranging for the coronation of his nephew, Baldwin I, as co-king. However, Baldwin IV's death in 1185 marked the beginning of the end for the Crusader states whole. The aftermath and fall of Jerusalem. With Baldwin IV's death, the fragile unity of the Kingdom of Jerusalem began to crumble. Baldwin V's reign was short-lived, and internal divisions weakened the kingdom further. Meanwhile, Saladin continued to strengthen his position, patiently waiting for the right moment to strike. The aftermath and that moment came in 1187 at the Battle of Hattin. Saladin decisively defeated the Crusader forces, capturing Guy of Lusignan and many other key leaders. This victory paved the way for Saladin's march on Jerusalem. The city's defenses, weakened by years of infighting and the loss of experienced leaders, crumbled before Saladin's forces. That moment came on October 2, 1187. After a brief siege, Jerusalem surrendered to Saladin. Unlike the brutal sack of the city by the Crusaders in 1099, Saladin showed mercy to the city's Christian inhabitants, allowing them to leave the city safely in exchange for ransom. The fall of Jerusalem was a monumental event, marking the end of nearly a century of Christian rule and the beginning of a new era in the history of the Holy Legacy. The struggle between Saladin and Baldwin IV is remembered as one of the most dramatic episodes of the Crusades. Baldwin IV's legacy is that of a king who, despite his debilitating illness, fought valiantly to defend his kingdom against overwhelming odds. His courage and determination made him a legendary figure in the history of the Crusades, earning him the nickname, the Leper King. Saladin's victory and his subsequent treatment of Jerusalem's inhabitants solidified his reputation as a just and honorable leader, respected by both his allies and enemies. His recapture of Jerusalem was a pivotal moment in the Crusades, inspiring a new wave of Christian military campaigns, including the Third Crusade, led by Richard. The battle for Jerusalem between these two iconic figures left an indelible mark on history, symbolizing the complex interplay of war, religion, and leadership in the medieval world. Their stories continue to resonate, serving as a testament to the enduring human spirit in the face of seemingly insurmountable challenges. The battle for Jerusalem. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the epic clash between Saladin and Baldwin IV. If you enjoyed this story and want to explore more captivating moments from history, please like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. Your support helps us bring more fascinating stories to life.